to Dot Richardson and her staff for being the first team to pull that out in a big situation, and that hits Kylie Schar. So guess what? Here's Kai at first base to start the game.
Well, when you've stolen bases the same way your entire life, you have this muscle memory. You have just things happen naturally, especially for a gifted athlete with the speed. So it works low, middle, and high on the rise ball. Can throw a changeup on both sides. Doesn't throw it often, but it is effective when she does throw it.
I'll admit, I'm trying to keep an eye on Kylie Schar as she releases from base when the pitch comes home. Next one coming from Yoder. Foul back. Well, it's obvious that Kylie Schar has made an adjustment here. That little rhythm thing. You know what? I'll give you credit, Carol. You asked what seemed like a random question 2 days ago when we visited with the players, including Kylie Schar, and you asked her, what are your keys when you watch a pitcher for getting off the base? And she basically said, I have this little rhythm. Well, part of that rhythm was her foot briefly coming off the base. Yeah,
the tempo, the rhythm. A lot of base stealers will watch the front foot of a pitcher, where the ball is at the top of the circle. They have some sort of cue.
The strikeout of Kedri Lushar for the first out of the game.
Yoder just calm, cool, and collected in this big game for the Flames. This is a low rise ball on the outer half. It just catches Lushar off guard. You see her lean over the plate. Thought it was a ball. Clearly caught the corner.
Stephanie Maake. Big jump that time from Kai at first base. Caught the attention of the catcher, Savannah Jesse. Went for 4 yesterday with an RBI for the San Diego native. Check swing. I was going to say that was a live ball, or was it foul? Now the plate umpire did not indicate foul. That's Chris Drum, who's the crew chief, and he's going to bring the other 3 umpires over there. What was also interesting is that Maake really didn't react like she had been hit.
Yeah, she didn't react at all. And remember, if she swings at a pitch that hits her, which clearly this pitch did not hit her.
I think it hit the bat, though.
Hit the bat. Looked like it hit the bat. Just how far it came off to the backstop.
Yeah. So that's the call. So it's 0-2. Quick explanation from Missy Lombardi, who came out of the dugout. 0-2 count. Stephanie Maake. There she goes. Throw to second. Great throw. But the speed of Kylie Schar, and she swipes her 59th base of the season.
Just so fast. Lightning in a bottle. Before the ball's even released, she's half the way down the baseline.
All right, guess who's come out of the dugout? Dot Richardson. Is she going to appeal this?
Well, and is she gonna appeal runner left early at first, or the safe out call at second, Mark? Yeah. Remember, that's an option as well.
She's appealing something here. She wants something looked at on the replay review, and it could be one of the 2 things that you just mentioned. Was it leaving early or out safe? Let's get the call. Dot Richardson going right back to that well here in the top of the first inning, and that has drawn the ire, as you can imagine, of this sold-out crowd in Eugene.
Well, and why not? She had 2 successful video reviews. You get 2. She knows how important it is with Kylie Schar and her speed at second base. We'll get a better look here to see.
Well, you can see how she's changed, where she doesn't do any kind of that rhythm. She just pushes off the base.
She's got her whole, it's almost like a track start, Mark, like track block. She's got her foot in the dirt. She's got her heel on the base, and she's using it as like a...
You may have been aware that Dot Richardson twice in last night's game challenged that Kylie Schar had left the base early before the Liberty pitcher delivered a pitch. She won both of those just before you joined us on the main network. Kylie Schar stole second base, and Dot came out and challenged today. Kai has changed the way she releases from first base. And after the video review, it was deemed that she did not leave early, and the crowd absolutely erupted uproariously, cheering that fact. You show up just a little bit late, you miss a lot. Close play again. Jessie. Well, Dot's already used one challenge. They're going to use two here in the first few minutes of the game. And here comes Dot again. There's the play at third base. Dot, as she came up, put her arms in the air, just kind of saluted the crowd as they were semi-cheering, semi-jeering her. She's going to use her second challenge. And we are 4 batters into the game, Carol Brotherman.
Well, she had 2 successful challenges last night. Not going to shy away. Well, this is definitely on the safe out call. It is not on leaving early. And Rachel Crane takes that glove, puts it right to the leading edge of the base, which is exactly what you want to do. So we're taking a look if Kai Lushar's hand gets in underneath that glove, and that is a really good tag as she gets low in the dirt in front of the base. Perfect positioning from Crane.
Now, is that indisputable evidence to overturn the call of safe on the field? Like you just said, Crane, unlike many infielders, did the exact right thing, and where she put the glove on the base, letting the base runner, in essence, tag herself out if that's the case.
Well, the out happens at the base, and a lot of defenders will reach to make the tag on the player, and they'll get them on the top of the head or the back or somewhere that's not close to the base. Crane couldn't have done it any better. The ball was low. It's a nice throw from Savannah Jessie, low and on the second base side of third base, and that tag doesn't get any better than that. It was in the dirt, and had a chance to make that a very close play. It did not look close from up here on the initial play, but when you slow it down a little bit, it's a much closer play.
It has gone to the Pittsburgh Review Center, and I think there's a chance the reaction could be much different this time from the Oregon crowd. That last look we had showed that they might have got her. Let's take a listen. Wow. We've had more drama in a half inning than some teams have in 2 weeks. The call has been changed. The top of the first is over. Incredible
Performance from her today.
Savannah Woodard leads off, bottom of the first. Liberty the home team in this game, and the first one upstairs from Grind. What more can we expect? Grind in the circle today.
A power pitcher. She's going to come at you in the upper 60s with her velo. Throws a rise ball, screwball, changeup combination, and has high energy in the circle. And when she's been struggling a little bit in the postseason, we haven't quite seen those fist bumps and that high emotion. And there's nothing more than Oregon would like than for her to get back on track. The Lindsey Grind we have seen throughout the entire regular season, which is throwing a lot of strikes, getting a lot of swings and misses with her movement through the zone.
Well, it's hit in the air to right field, hit pretty well. Shaw going back, still going, and that's off the scoreboard, home run. Savannah Woodard, her 11th of the season. And Liberty has their first lead in this Eugene Super Regional.
Such a smooth swing with all that power. No wasted motion, keeps her hands back. This pitch, this is just power on power. It's a power pitch up in the zone. Grind provides a lot of that velocity going out. Woodard times it up well. That was a no-doubter. And a big home run from Liberty early.
Rachel Root behind that first pitch from Grind. Rachel Root, this year's Conference USA Player of the Year. First got on the radar of Dot Richardson when Luke was early in high school and started coming to the softball camps in Lynchburg. And what a find and what a player. Spent all 4 seasons with Liberty. Takes a strike. He's in the hole 1-2.
Yeah, if you've been around softball the last few years, Rachel Roop she's no secret. I mean, she has been a power hitter from day one in this Liberty lineup. Top 7 in the country in home runs.
Hits that right up the middle. Diving attempt by the second baseman Jones into center field. And Rachel Roop has her second hit of the Super Regional.
Early in the season, Grein would get some swings and misses on these pitches, but there's not enough movement on the ball. The ball's real flat, doesn't have a lot of spin. And when that happens, a flat ball coming in means a hard hit ball coming out. 2 hard hit balls right now for Liberty off Grein.
Still nobody out. Bryn McManus, the first baseman, takes a strike. Homecoming for McManus. He's to her home state of Oregon. She's from McMinnville, a little south of Portland. McManus, first team All-Conference USA this year. And a home run in the regional at College Station against Marist. Went full completely on that one. Had to lunge for it. Came up well short.
So important here for Grein to settle back in, create some outs for her team. And a lot of those pitches last night we saw were a lot like the pitch that she just threw. Really not competitive strikes. I mean, not difficult decisions for Liberty whether or not they're going to swing.
2-2 pitch to McManus. Oregon won here last night 3-2 in 8 innings to take game 1. But we mentioned Liberty hasn't lost back-to-back games since early April when they lost to Virginia Tech on the 2nd of April and Middle Tennessee on the 4th. The other part of that equation is they're 8-2 in elimination games since the 2023 conference tournament. You take that through the conference tournaments, the NCAA tournament games, and then what they did at Texas A&M last weekend, eliminating the #1 overall seed. Just kept moving it away further and further, and that time McManus couldn't make contact, and a strikeout. First out of the game for Lindsey Grein.
That's a huge strikeout for Grein. There you see a little bit of emotion from her. This is a rise ball moving up and away, and look at the spin she gets on that ball. Good adjustment from Grein. And that spin is so key for her. You can't throw it by people anymore with just velocity. You also have to have that movement.
Alyssa Hinault is the DP. Spent 3 seasons at Campbell University. In her first year in the program with the Flames. 2 balls and no strikes. See the velos upper 60s for Grein. 67 miles per hour on that last one. Two balls and a strike after that last rise ball. Lindsey Grein, 28 wins on the season. You can tell, Carol, she's just trying to find a little bit of a rhythm out there right now.
Doing much better, has a better tempo. Really throwing all of her pitches now through the zone.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Grein.
And that is a good sign for Lindsey Grein and the Oregon Ducks. They need her to step up in these moments, and she does so with back-to-back strikeouts. A screwball running away from Hinault. really has command of all of her pitches now, finding her way here in the first inning.
Henry late squares, takes ball one. KK 1 for 4 in the opener of this Super Regional last night with a run scored. Had some big hits, especially against A&M. 2-run home run against A&M. One of the 3 games they played against the Aggies.
Oh, you mentioned it, Mark. This Liberty team is gritty. They just do not quit. They fight. They're an experienced team.
Well, no doubt about it. They were the talk of the softball world this past week after what they accomplished last weekend in the regionals, knocking off the #1 seed. First time that it ever happened in the 20 years of the Super Regional round that the 1 seed didn't make it out of the regional. We can do a lot of different things. Tried to bunt her way on there, but now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that's what makes her so challenging to defend. The infield has to play in to respect that speed, the short game. Now with 2 strikes, they can take a little bit of a step back, but she can still use the slap and can swing away. So difficult to defend with her speed.
Well, after Woodard, you're going to have to throw to first to complete the strikeout. They do so. Woodard, the home run, Roop a single, but then back-to-back-to-back strikeouts for Grind to end the inning.
Lindsey Grind started listed in every pitch.
Sinicki leading off. She was batting Shar. Eventually, after a challenge, was called out at third base to win the inning. 0 for 2, a couple of walks, stolen base for Sinicki last night. Twisting back near the screen. Will it stay in play? No, that's in the first row over the screen. Not a lot of foul ground behind home plate here at Jane Sanders Stadium.
I mean, and the crowd is right on top of the action. That's another reason it just feels, all these fans are so invested, and you can feel it every inning, every play.
Yoder misses upstairs. Kaylin Yoder, by the way, is a big reason why they're even here. That last game against Texas A&M, she was magnificent in relief. An inning and 2/3 scoreless, 2 hits, got the save and the 6-5 win that ended Texas A&M season. Hit hard but foul down the left field side. Let's take you back to last Sunday when, well, you made it official thanks to Kaylin Yoder.
What a moment for Yoder, for her teammates. A swing and a miss. Look at the emotion. I mean, they made history.
First ever Super Regional for this program.
To me, Mark, what was so special about that performance from Yoder, not only the strikeout to send them to the Super Regional, that was her first appearance. It was the final game, the elimination game, championship game of the regional, and she came in at a very tense moment, was able to elevate for her team.
Hit down the left field side, but that also foul. As you mentioned, it was her only appearance in the A&M Regional, and it was her first appearance in 9 days when she came in on Sunday and closed out the game to send Liberty, as it turns out to the Pacific Northwest this weekend. She's got a pretty good battle going with Paige Sinicki right now, leading off Oregon's second inning. Driven deep right center, tie game. She's got a Gold Glove. She's got a bat. What a great all-around player. And the senior makes a statement to tie it for the Ducks.
And what's impressive about this at bat, after pulling 3 foul balls, Yoder says, all right, I'm going to go to the outer half of the plate. And Sinicki one-ups her, lets the ball get deep, and fires one out to right center field. What a complete at-bat, quality at-bat for Sinicki. So much emotion in this game. She is clearly the leader of this team.
Yeah, that graphic is accurate. If they hit a home run this season, they win. The first time I saw that stat, I was dumbfounded. I'm like, no, that can't be right.
And I tell you what else
What
else is impressive is they've now played 60 games. They're 52-8. They've hit a home run in 2/3 of those games. 41 games. That's impressive as well.
8th of the year for Sinicki. So here's Des Patman, who has put on the cape and played hero the last 2 games for the Ducks, eliminating Stanford on Sunday with a 3-run walk-off home run to win 10-7. And then the walk-off hit last night for head coach Missy Lombardi, who's trying to take this program to Oklahoma City for the first time under her tenure. First time since 2018. Veneziano Patman, 3 balls, no strikes. And that's a 4-pitch walk. Bachman up in the bullpen, and here comes McCoy. As Casey Fagan goes out to the circle for Liberty, it gives us a chance to tell you what kind of freshman season it's been for Riley McCoy.
A top 3 finalist for the NFCA Division I National Freshman of the Year. You look at the amount of home runs, the amount of power she brings to this lineup. She didn't start the first few games of the season, but kept being successful in a pinch hitting role. And Melissa Lombardi said, we've got to keep her in the lineup, and she has been outstanding at first base, typically in the 3 spot in the lineup. Had an injury a few days ago. So good to see her up and back in the lineup here in this Super Regional.
Takes ball 1. If you're unfamiliar with the story, she was hit in the face with a line drive off the bat of Stanford's Taryn Kern on Sunday. It was not pretty. She did leave under her own power. And when you and I saw her 2 days ago, we said to each other she looked remarkably good. We didn't know if she'd be able to play this weekend. And I think everyone's pleasantly surprised that she's able to return here for game 2 of the best of 3.
Just a lift for the whole softball community to see her back in the lineup. Certainly for the Oregon team, the Oregon fans. Yeah, had a lot of players over the years that have had similar injuries, and usually, the face is a very sensitive area. A lot of black and blue, a lot of red, and we couldn't believe it. Of course, she had a little protective on her nose and a little bit of a black eye, but not much, and she's very fortunate.
Got under it, a high fly towards right center field. Madry moves over to make the catch. But the crowd just happy to have Riley McCoy back. Well, if Oregon survives to play on next week in Oklahoma City. That is a big piece back in their lineup, Carol.
Just the power she provides. I mean, one of the top home run hitters in the country. And this is an Oregon team that is very balanced. I mean, you talk a lot about what they do in the circle. They pitch by committee, but they're top 10 in the country in ERA, but they're also 4th in the country in scoring and fielding percentage. Riley McCoy, a big piece of that offensive puzzle for Oregon, who's been playing at such a high level all season long.
Here's another one of the freshmen for the Ducks, Emma Cox. Will be catching for the 2nd straight game in this Super Regional. And a couple of walks into yesterday's game. Popped up on the infield, and Savannah Woodard. A bright blue Pacific Northwest sky just onto the outfield grass.
A lot of credit to Yoder after giving up the home run and the walk. Looked like it could be a very big inning for Oregon, still can be, but she's really settled in, spinning the ball through the zone a little better, especially to her arm side, her left-hand side, created 2 fly ball outs.
Well, the freshman comes up for the Ducks. Kayla Jones takes strike 1. Big time player from the Metroplex area, Denton, Texas. Dallas Morning News called her the state softball player of the year a couple of years ago. Guides that to left towards the line. It drops in. Paige Dorr cutting it off. Jones just kind of guided that over the infield. Picks up her 2nd hit of the Supers.
And this is why Oregon is in the top 5 in the country in scoring. They have that balance of power, as we saw from Sinicki, and then they have the short game, a little speed. As Jones lets the ball get deep, doesn't try to do too much with it, is able to control her barrel, flare it into left field, and extend the inning.
First pitch, ball 1 to Katie Flannery, Ducks 3rd baseman. And a big 3-run home run in the decisive game against Stanford. They were down 4-0. Her homer cut it to 4-3. They wound up winning 10-7 on the Patman walk-off 3-run shot. Katie batting in the 9th spot today. Yoder with a 1-1 pitch.
Well, even though that's not a strike, that's a good decision from Yoder to mix speed. She really hasn't done that a whole lot today. And this is the last batter the first time through the lineup. She's going to have to use that a little more the 2nd time through. If I'm a right-handed batter, and there's a lot of right-handed batters in this lineup for Oregon, I'm going to get on the plate a little bit against Yoder. She really likes to work all her pitches arm side, so everything falls a little bit to the outer half of the plate.
That's ball 4, the 2nd walk of the inning. And that loads the bases, and it flips the lineup over. Saw activity in the bullpen for Liberty. Kylu Shar coming up. And here comes Dot Richardson with a lineup card, and looking like they're going to make the change right here. So our first pitching change comes here at the top of the 2nd. So Yoder goes once through the order, and Dot Richardson makes a pitching change. Bachman In her senior year, she has length. She's 6 feet 2 inches tall. Bouchard was hit by a pitch, stole second base, was called out on review at third. Chops it, grabbed, throw to first, safe. Well, Byram made a great stab over her head, short hopped it to first. McManus dug it out. But with the speed of Kai Luchar, she beats it out. It brings in the run, Patman from third base, and it's 2-1 Oregon.
Kai Luchar so good at using the ground, just beats this ball hard as she can into the ground, gets the high hop. It's a nice effort by Byram, but you're looking at one of the fastest base runners in the country. And when that ball is hit on a high hop and in the air, that's just time for Luchar to be safe.
Kedri Luchar, slow roller, that's foul, barely. And that had some funky spin. It looked like it may get back and touch that chalk.
Well, and Mark, remember, even if Liberty thought that play over at first base was close, which it was fairly close, they're out of video review challenges, so they cannot challenge a call anymore the rest of the game.
Yeah, Byram did a great job making that close. By the way, Byram's second straight start at short. No Savannah Watley again today due to the elbow injury to her throwing arm. Byram getting the start once again at short. Upstairs for Bachman. Bouchard called out on strikes at her first at bat. It came against Yoder. Sends us down the left field side, fading into foul ground. Diving catch. She got it. What a play. Paige Dorr, who is from Eugene, gets some polite applause from her hometown fans playing for Liberty. Here last year, the road at Oregon State. She lives in Coburg, Oregon, which is maybe a 5-minute drive north of here. It's attached to the Eugene Metro. And a couple of hits in game one last night. Unable to get through that first inning after the leadoff homer by Woodard. This is the 6, 7, and 8 part of the order for the Flames here in the home half of the second, occupied by Liberty in this game. Pulled over on it to first. Maake, 3 unassisted.
And Maake has played first base this season. Riley McCoy, typically the first base starter. But Maake, such a good athlete for this Oregon team. Always in the hitting lineup. Is the DP. She used to pitch in high school and has taken over those duties at first base, at least for the time being, for Riley McCoy. And she's done a nice job.
The second straight start, Maake at first base. Rachel Crane. Very productive night last night, 1 for 1, but had a couple of walks and a sacrifice bunt. Now Grind wants time. Apparently she's having an issue with the watch communication system, as she was for a moment.
Being able to throw that off-speed pitch for a strike is so important for Grind. Hasn't been able to find it yet in this game, but still working through it, still showing it, giving the hitter something to think about that's got a little slower timing.
Two balls and a strike. 30 pitches so far for Grind, who threw 35 pitches in 2 innings plus 2 batters starting last night's game. A little bit high, 3 balls and a strike. Ryan Fine fanned the last 3 hitters of the first inning. Able to run it full to 3-2. Strike 3, says Chris Drum, the plate umpire. So 4 of the last 5 have been strikeout victims of Lindsey Graham.
After falling behind early, she's able to throw that rise ball. That has been so impactful for her today. The low rise ball, it's running away from the right-handed batters. You can see the look on Rachel Crane's face, but that pitch is too good to take.
I don't know if plate umpire Chris Drum did a verbal call down there and said strike 3, but I think I was as surprised as Crane because that arm came out to indicate strikeout kind of late. 2 outs in the inning. Catcher Savannah Jesse. And Liberty needs a win today to set up a decisive game 3 tomorrow. Win for Oregon, and they head to the Women's College World Series today. Balls, 2 strikes on Savannah Jesse. 2-1 game, Oregon leading. Liberty, the home team, batting in the bottom of the 2nd. High fly to left field. Will it stay in the yard? The answer is yes, barely. Kylu Shar nearly with her back against the fence. Jesse just missed hitting that one out. It stays 2-1 Ducks. So that's going 3. At UCLA, South Carolina, Clemson, Texas, Florida, Georgia. How about Georgia winning a low-scoring game in Gainesville today?
I mean, it's so much fun right now for softball fans across the country. I mean, just not a lot of sleep going on because, you know, the games go from, you know, like lunchtime all the way to bedtime, but I don't think softball fans would have it any other way. A lot of high-quality softball and big stakes.
Even a miss by Mayake. Stephanie popped out her first time up. Paige Bachman came on in relief in the last inning, and she records her first strikeout there. Bachman, who's pitching for the first time since game 2 on Sunday against Texas A&M last week.
Bachman actually throws the hardest of any pitcher on staff with Liberty, and she's going to throw the ball down in the zone and further down in the zone. That ball had some good velo on it, some good down tumble on it. Gets Mayake.
Sinicki, little check swing flare out in the right, and near the line, caught by Rachel Root. 2 down here in the 3rd. Well, tomorrow's Sunday Night Baseball matchup is the series finale between the Dodgers and the Mets, 7 Eastern here on ESPN. ESPN Deportes and ESPN Radio. And our coverage begins at 6 Eastern with Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. That's Patman coming up. She gets a word with third base coach Sam Marder before she strides to the plate. There is Sam Marder in her 4th season, hitting coach, played at Ohio State, 3-time All-American there. Great player in the Big Ten. And by the way, Oregon is the regular season Big Ten champs this year in their first year in the conference. There's a walk-off to be had in this game. Patman has inserted herself in that conversation just by the last 2 games.
I mean, how she's been able to rise to the occasion, back-to-back games. One was a big home run. It sent them to the Super Regional. The other last night, single up the middle. She's just been able to lock in when it matters most.
3 balls and a strike on Desiana. That second walk for Patman. First walk issued by Paige Bachman in this relief appearance. And a 2-out base runner for the Ducks.
She's just seeing the ball so well. She's been able to hit the ball to all fields. You mentioned it, the walk-off hits, drawing walks. Just such good plate discipline at the most important time of year.
Second plate appearance now for Riley McCoy. Riley flied center field. First time up. I think it's safe to say, at least from our perspective, she was a surprise starter today. Bounces it towards third and into left field. And has a base hit.
You can see why Riley McCoy is so important in this Oregon lineup. Just missed hitting a home run in her first at-bat back from injury. This time looks low in the zone. Bachman throwing all drop balls right now. Changeups down in the zone. Doesn't try to elevate the ball. Just hits it hard through the 5-6 gap.
Well, when we visited with McCoy a couple days ago, we knew she wasn't going to play in the first game because we watched the workouts on Thursday and she didn't participate physically at all. So that was the first indicator. So we thought, maybe best case scenario, if Oregon were to win the Super and go to Oklahoma City, she could play. I think we were all a little surprised when about a half hour before game time today, she was in the lineup.
Very surprised, and a pleasant surprise for
Yes.
the Oregon fans, and again, one of the top freshmen in the country.
Towards third, there's a force out there. And Crane steps on to retire the side. So a couple of 2-out base runners. Ducks strand both. They've left 5. Will go to the bottom of the third. 2 with an elbow issue.
And even though Byron's played a lot of shortstop, the stakes are a little different here in the Super Regional. And last night, she really stepped up to the challenge. Involved in a lot of plays.
It's hard to hide a player at shortstop.
and Liberty did a nice job with their steal defenses. You know, they kind of took her out of that mix and allowed Woodard at second base to cover, and got on base a couple times as well.
Ryan gets ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Ducks. 1 run, 2 hits for Liberty. Right off the end of the bat, Grind acting like she wants it, and she takes it. Hey, pitchers can play defense. And that's going to bring up Savannah Woodard, who led off the day in the bottom of the first with a long one.
I mean, talk about setting the tone early for Liberty. First at bat of the game was a no-doubter. Liberty on the board early. She's just having an outstanding season here in her final season of eligibility.
Fouled back. That's now the last 5 Liberty hitters. Grind has started each of the last 5 with a first pitch strike.
Just impressed with Woodard and her approach. I mean, she's just calm, cool, collected, very poised in the box. And that's something she's worked very hard on coming into her final season, just taking control of those emotions. You know, she self-admitted, hey, that took me out of a lot of games early on, and she's really learned to control those emotions, control her mentality, and it's really paid off for her as she's just having an outstanding season. One of the better leadoff hitters in the country.
Played her first 3 seasons at Alabama. And as you mentioned in our conversation with her a couple of days ago, she just said, hey, I've learned to get out of my own head now. And I think that's a hurdle a lot of players have to cross in just about every sport. Off speed, bounce to Sudnicki is the human vacuum cleaner over there. Little side step to her right. Just seems to always be in the right place at the right time.
And defense starts with your feet, and just watch her footwork. Even though this pitch is hit hard, she still takes the time to move her feet and center the ball and get over in position. That allows her to be able to throw in rhythm and get out the Speedy Woodard.
So Oregon facing Rachel Roop with the bases empty, which if you are a Liberty opponent, that's how you always want to face Rachel Roop. If she were a secret in the softball world, last weekend took care of that. I don't think there's any reason she was still a secret a week ago. She has had a tremendous 4-year career at Liberty.
And just pure power, and you notice in her stance right away, one of the widest stances, almost takes the entire batter's box, really gets in a low stance and widens out just to minimize her motion. And in talking with her about that this week, she just talked a lot about, hey, that really helps me stay on balance, stay on time, really work from the ground up.
Yeah, we talked about the stance. You said I was kind of wide early in my career, then I got narrow, and now I've gone back wide. And I said, you look like the Pujols stance. Albert Pujols had that same very wide stance, right-handed hitter. And basically didn't stride at all late in his career. Maybe just a little lift of the front foot, but right back down quickly, and that's what Rachel does as well.
One of the other things I'm so impressed with Rachel Roop and watching her is I don't think I've seen a hitter hit as many balls out of the strike zone down in the zone. Sometimes you can catch one up at your eyes, you know, and elevate a rise ball out, but she can hit a home run off a ball, off her toes, off her ankles. And when I talked to her about that, like, geez, I just, tell me about that. She said, oh, that's where I love them.
Yeah.
You know, I love them down there.
Shocked to hear her say that. She says, oh, I love balls around my feet.
I love them. Feel like I can hit them out. Well, she certainly can. Pitcher's nightmare.
Right to Sudnicki. Nine in a row set down by Lindsey Grine. When we come back, we'll chat with the Ducks head coach, Missy Lombardi. Coy at DP. What happened earlier today, the process that went to getting her back in the lineup this afternoon?
All week, we've just been taking it day by day, seeing how she's feeling, and she's been doing a good job of recovering, so we thought today would be a good day.
Well, Coach, Lindsey Grine, a little bit of a slow start, but she has found her rhythm, retiring the last 9 batters. What have you seen, and what changes did she make early in the game?
I think she's just done a good job of working ahead and letting her rise ball spin.
We appreciate the candor. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Head coach Melissa Lombardi, season 7, the last trip to the Women's College World Series for the Ducks, which was their 6th in school history, was 2018. It was Mike White's last year. That 2019 year, first year for Melissa Lombardi as head coach, was a year that she'll never forget. A lot of challenges, but now here they are, 1 win away from what would be their first Women's College World Series under Lombardi. Little flare off the bat of Jones, and now it skips away. And a turn, but holding at second base. Kaylin Jones had a base hit her first time up, add another. They kind of kicked off that artificial turf and took it a little extra hop.
Yeah, a little miscommunication here between Madry and Dorr. This ball's in the air a long time. Both have good speed, but neither one really committed, called the ball, and laid out for it. And you can see both of them get in each other's way, and that allows Jones to get to second base. Just a missed opportunity there to really make a better effort at making that catch.
So played into a double. 7-2 base hit for Jones. That's foul at the plate for Flannery. Five hits now for the Ducks today. Katie walked and was stranded back in the second. To the alley in right center. That ball is going to drop a short hop to the fence. Jones in, a slide at second base for Flannery. She swaps spots with Jones and increases the Ducks' lead 3-1.
The bottom of the order, so important in postseason play. Back-to-back doubles from the 8-9 batter as Flannery can't get the bunt down and says, you know what, I'm going to look for that pitch up in the zone. Outer half of the plate, drives it to the wall. Jones makes sure, was a little cautious, just make sure that ball was to the wall. But when you get to postseason, the teams that can make the deep postseason runs, yes, you rely on the top of your order to make some noise, make some things happen like they've been doing all season long. But it's the bottom of the order, the 7, 8, 9 hitters. If they can be productive, generate some offense, you see a lot of deep postseason runs for those teams.
So top of the order now. Back to Kylie Shar. Kai, a hit by pitch, an infield hit, an RBI. Our conversation with her a couple of days ago touched on a plethora of topics, including her making of sourdough bread, her cooking skills, her desire to eventually run a farm after college, basically grow whatever, sunflowers, produce. Back towards the circle. Will advance the runner. Bachman never gave a look at third, but wanted to take the sure out and got loose Shar. And Flannery advances over to third base.
Well, she just forces you to make quick decisions. If Bachman did check the runner, Luchar is going to be safe. So you have to play clean, you have to think quickly, you have to execute quickly. So that was a very productive at-bat for Luchar as she moved the runner up 60 feet.
Infield tightens up with Kedri Luchar, the younger sister, at the plate.
This is where Luchar can be very patient. Bachman likes to throw the ball down in the zone. They're looking for a ground ball. And if you're Kedri Luchar, you're not going to give in to that. You know, that's exactly what Liberty wants you to do. Hit a weak ground ball to the infield. Not allow the runner to score. Luchar being patient. Look for something elevated.
Slow ground ball. Look back to third. Throw back to third. Safe. Byram took a chance. Flannery was coming down the line, so no play on the hitter, and Kedri Luchar winds up at first, and runners are at the corners.
Well, Flannery creates Byram. She's got to think a little bit. This looks like a routine play to first, but because she comes so far off, now Byram has a decision to make. And the minute that ball either needs to be 4 right away, going home, or 1 right away, and she gets caught in the middle. Everybody's safe. Inning is extended.
Now Richardson already used her 2 challenges within the first 4 hitters of the game in the first inning, so not an option regardless. She's going to come out and join the conversation in the circle. Well, we'll have game 3 of the NHL Western Conference Final for you tomorrow night. Actually tomorrow afternoon on ABC and ESPN+. Connor McDavid and the Oilers host the Stars at 3 Eastern with the series tied at a game apiece. Western Conference Finals. Oilers trying to win the conference for the 2nd straight year. Another sold-out crowd at the Jane in Eugene. You know, I'll admit the West Coast has kind of a reputation for the more laid-back crowds. That's not the case in Eugene, Oregon.
This crowd, I put them up over anyone. They are invested. They show up early. They are enthusiastic every single pitch of the game. Very knowledgeable fans. Been a lot of fun.
That it has. Throw's going to go to third as Flannery wasn't going to bite at all on that.
Oh, I like that if you're Oregon. Waste no time. Get the speedy Luchar, Kedri Luchar down to second base. Another runner in the scoring position.
Stephanie Maake, a little bloop. Well, Crane was having to fight through the runner at third and the third base coach and the son. But despite that trio, I had no issue with catching that ball. But now the third base umpire, that's Matt Dial, wants to talk to crew chief and plate umpire Chris Drum about that particular play. Yeah, they're going to call the runner out at third base on top of the catch. Now, I'm not sure if they're calling the interference on Martyr or the runner here. So Missy Lombardi has come out. So this would be a double play to end the inning, if I'm not incorrect here. Well, we made it all the way to the fourth inning before we got our first really highly unusual play today, Carol. So
I mean, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Right away when the ball went up, in the air, you could see the third base umpire, you know, immediately called dead ball and interference.
So
you know,
dead ball.
See that dead ball.
So the hitter is going to still be at the.
That's right. That's right.
At the plate.
The runner that's out is the runner at third base because of the interference. And in our umpire's judgment, the runner was impeding Rachel Crane from making the catch. Take a look at the umpire here. Immediately, this ball goes up. Crane's going for the ball, and even though she's in foul territory, there's clearly a collision there. She makes the catch, but the call is made immediately for the interference.
And obviously, it's on the runner at third. You see the third base umpire. I mean, it took him a moment, but right about the time the catch was made is when he pointed. So that's why there was some confusion when the dead ball occurred. But as soon as he called the interference, even though it might have been a little bit late, it killed the play right there.
Yeah, and it is a dead ball. And now the count should be 1-0. And yes, we're seeing that from Chris Drum behind the plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
So only 1 runner on now. That's Kedri Luchar at second base with 2 outs. Now after foul, a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Pulled foul. So you give a 5 unassisted putout to Crane on the runner at third, Flannery. You got your scorebook out at home as well. Who knows? That could be a really big play here.
But, I mean, Liberty, as we've seen, they know how to come back. And so no lead is ever big enough when you're playing Liberty.
The sample size is large enough to realize it, yeah.
And especially when you have a runner at third and less than 2 outs, there's so many more ways to score. A sac fly, a squeeze bunt, a lot of things you can do. Now, you got to earn it. With a runner at second with 2 outs, I mean, there's no more sac flies. There's none of that. So you've got to earn it. Makes for a very different game. Very different inning.
Yes, and Oregon has added a run in this inning. The back-to-back doubles for Jones and Flannery to begin the inning. Ake waiting on a 2-2 pitch from Paige Bachman. chopped to third, and it goes right to Crane. She goes to first. Now the inning is over, and Oregon settles for one on 3 hits, a couple of hits in the inning, and strand a base runner. When we come back, we're going to visit with the head coach of the Lady Flames, Dot Richardson. Have used and we understand the reasons why. I'll let you talk about last night, today, and all the different varieties that you have had to kind of pull out of the holster here, challenge-wise this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't like that when you challenge and it gets overturned that you don't keep your challenge. I think every coach in the country wants that. I know TV doesn't want it, probably because it delays things. But, you know, I talked to the umpires before. I let them know the foot was coming up off the bag. They still said no, then had to review it, lose my 2, but it was effective. You know, I just think we got to get better. You know, you just got to get better. And so for us, we got to get better. We got a game to play. We can't be worrying about umpires and calls, right? We're down by 2, but I tell you what, you know, it's just a matter of time. We're the home team, so hopefully we can get connected with the ball and do what Savvy did in the first inning, which is kind of nice, right?
Well, you talked about your leadoff batter, and you're absolutely right. She set the tone. But since then, Grimes kind of had her way. What do you want to see from your Liberty hitters here as we move toward the middle of the game?
Well, they're giving the excuse they don't trust the umpire right now because everything is being called. And I'm like, you guys, that's life, right? A lot of times life doesn't go your way, and it seems like you're hitting roadblocks all the time, but you got to stay focused in your mission, right? And what that mission is to do the right thing. And so hopefully right now we find the right thing, which is our right pitch. And if we do, good things are going to happen.
We appreciate the time. We'll let you get to the third base coach's box.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
God
Dot.
bless everybody. Go Flames.
Dot Richardson. I knew we would get candor there. So all 2,500 fans here kind of focused on Dot. They know that the interview was going on, and now she's trotting across over to third base coach's box. There we go. And we resume in the bottom of the 4th. So she still thought Kylie Shar's foot was coming up today. Dot played a little coy after the game from different folks who asked about, did she know that Lushar's foot was coming up before the game yesterday, during the game, or at what point that she elected to use those challenges, which obviously both worked out well for her team. But the way she answered the question today, she was, yeah, I think she was still lifting her foot. So it seems like it's something that they were aware of, perhaps heading into this series to watch.
Well, if anybody's going to find something like that, it's Dot Richardson. She's been a leader her entire life and always looking for that edge.
McManus back to the circle. Ryan fields her position for the first out of the bottom of the 4th. I do understand her request, if that's the best word, for if you win the challenge, you keep the challenge. Because sometimes if umpires are going to miss calls, it's going to happen. They're human. They do the best job they can. But if it's just one of those bad days where all those bad calls go against your team, and then all of a sudden you don't have a challenge in a key spot in the game. So I understand that perspective.
Well, and you're always looking for, you know, what's the magic number. And remember, after the 6th inning, an umpire can review anything, and at any time a scoring play can be reviewed. So there's a lot of opportunities for reviews in the game, but let's face it, video review is still new in our sport. It hasn't been around that long, and there's a lot of Division I programs that still don't have it. So it's still new. I think everyone in the country, including the coaches, the players, the umpires, they're happy we have video review. We want to get the plays right, but finding that sweet spot or the right number of reviews, still up for debate.
DP and cleanup hitter, Alyssa Hinault. See the shadow from this, what was a 4:05 Pacific time start today. Now pushing about 5:30 local time out west here. With that triangle jetting out from the stands, the cover, the roof, over the home plate area.
It's like something straight out of Star Wars, doesn't it? On the
That's
field.
a great look right there. Now you know why it looks that way. Good look at Jane Sanders Stadium. Sold out once again. Flames trying to get something rolling here. Grind has set down 10 in a row. And will it be 11? Yes. Hit all crowds out to Flannery. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th.
And you got to give Grind, a lot of credit. I mean, right now, this Oregon defense playing well behind her and not being challenged with a lot of base runners, because Grind has gone, as Coach Lombardi talked about, and we talked about early in the game, wasn't really spinning the ball through the zone. The ball was real flat, and she's really come on strong and using all of her pitches spinning through the zone to control this Liberty offense.
Yeah, let's remind those of you that may have not been with us at the beginning of the game how the day started for Grind. First batter she faced, Woodard, homered off the scoreboard in right field. And then the next hitter, Roop, singled. Those were the first 2 batters. Grind has set down every hitter, though, since then, and there are 2 outs in the 4th. Fan Madry back in the 1st inning.
And so far in this game, this is the type of performance that we've seen from Grind all season long in the regular season. Not so much in the postseason. They've had to rely on Sokolsky, Chambers, really pitched by committee a little bit more in the postseason, but this is a good sign for Oregon fans. Lindsey Grind can find her rhythm, get back to that regular season form. There's not many pitchers that throw as hard as Lindsey Grind and have as many moving pitches. She really can move the ball through the zone in all the different quadrants and throw a changeup.
First season in the program for Lindsey Grind, who played her freshman and sophomore years at Virginia Tech. The Mokina, Illinois native Grind. Mokina's southwest of Chicago. 1-2 pitch to Madry. Madry keeps fouling pitches off, but Kylie Shar had a jump on that. Laid out, came up about 4 or 5 feet short.
I mean, I'd like to find someone who lives life on fire like Kylie Shar. I mean, just how she plays the game. You know, she is all out, full go, full throttle on defense, on offense, and just when you talk to her, and you know, immediately when we asked Melissa Lombardi who the leaders were of this team, I mean, the first name out of her mouth was Kylie Shar.
Grind just kept working away, and got her to lunge and strike. Matt, Tori, Jenny, thank you very much. Yeah, watching that game, when I heard him say that Woolery was 0 for 6, I'm like, uh-oh, something's going to happen right here. And it didn't take long when she hammered one out to left, and all of a sudden it's a series, and UCLA has life for decisive game 3 in Columbia. And I know the Gamecock fans were so close.
Stunned, actually stunned.
Yes.
Mayhem.
Sinicki, hot shot off the glove of Crane, and it trickles behind her. Sinicki's on. She had a home run earlier. That should be her second hit of the game.
Well, Sinicki squares this one up, just barrels it up. It's right down Broadway, right down the middle of the plate. Sinicki does not miss. Crane does all she can to knock it down, but it's a leadoff single for Sinicki.
That's 7 hits now for Oregon. It's the 4th time in 5 innings they've put the leadoff batter on base. The only inning they didn't was the 3rd. Ziana Patman has reached twice, both times with a walk, and also has scored a run. She squares, runner goes, throw down, not in time, and Sinicki, believe it or not, is kind of lost to the shuffle for stolen bases, but that's her 30th of the year. But when you got somebody that's got almost 60 on your team, you kind of get lost.
And this Oregon team, the amount of speed, their ability to steal bases up and down the lineup, one of the top base stealing teams in the country. And that's a difference maker. I mean, when you hit a single, it's almost like hitting a double because of their ability to steal and get down into scoring position. another reason why they are in the top 4 in the country in scoring.
Well, it seems like they don't want to pitch to Patman. It's just walked for a 3rd time already in this game. Tell you what, you get that reputation with a couple of walk-offs back-to-back games, and suddenly they're a little gunshot.
Oh, and I'm just impressed at her ability to take walks. That's something she wasn't doing early in the season. You know, hitters like to hit. They like to swing the bat, and it's tough for them sometimes to be patient and take walks, but that's something we've seen Des Patman do a lot here in this Super Regional.
So they're going to run for Patman. Shaw, who got the start last night at right field. Paige Bachman coming out. And Liberty's going to make a pitching change. Well, the Women's College World Series, of course, returning to Oklahoma City. The action begins this Thursday, May 29th, noon Eastern, live here on ESPN. For more information on the 2025 Women's College World Series, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Now, we knew at some point we would see Helena Escobar. And right now, with the score 3-1 and Liberty's season on the line, they go to their workhorse.
Now they're going to turn to their ace. She has been leading the charge for Liberty in the circle all season long. One of the biggest competitors on the team. They're going to need that from her now in this must-win game situation. You look at the amount of innings she's pitched this season, almost a 1 strikeout per inning type pitcher. So she comes right at you in the zone. Been a leader for this team.
Pitched the entire game last night. Complete game loss, 7 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, only 1 earned run in that game, 5 walks though, 109 pitches. What can we expect from her today?
Yeah, she's a power pitcher. That velocity has gone down over the last month just because of the amount of pitches that she's been throwing. Typically at 68, now more at 65 miles an hour. Does have an elite changeup. She can throw on any count, and almost everything she throws, rise ball, curveball, screwball, has a little bit of upspin on it, and that upspin creates a lot of fly ball outs.
First batter she's going to face is Riley McCoy, who came back today after the injury against Stanford on Sunday. She's flied to deep center, single to left, 1 for 2. What has been a monster true freshman season for the Southern California native. All Big Ten first team as a freshman, all defensive team, of course the all freshman team.
One thing Riley McCoy really changed this season was her stance. She used to be very closed stance, a little more of a in her legs type hitter, almost squatted down. And in January, she kind of took this new approach, this open stance, a little more upright. Coach Lombardi liked it, she liked it, and the rest is history.
Ooh, that is strike 3. McCoy just kind of looked back. All right.
Well, Escobar goes to the off-speed pitch, and take a look. Too close to look at, in my opinion. It was a little high.
Held off by Emma Cox. First and second. Now with 1 out for the Ducks in the top of the 5th inning. Cox today has popped the second and hit it into an inning-ending fielder's choice. On the left field side, this looks playable, or at least in play, but it drops out of reach. Paige Dorr, who had a long run to go, get to that spot.
Well, you run out of foul ball territory too. Just the angle of the field, the way the bullpen is down there, the field gets a little bit smaller. And when you're running hard, and again, you're on a visitor's field, just knowing how much room you have. You see how tight it gets. It starts out very wide by the dugout, gets a little more narrow.
High drive, deep left, and a blast that may send the Ducks to Oklahoma City. Emma Cox, 8th of the year, 3-run blast. That opens it up to a 6-1 game.
This Oregon team can score in bunches. We talked about their speed. Well, how about this power? Good adjustment from Cox, knowing Escobar likes to throw in the upper part of the zone. She gets her barrel on plane high, stays strong with her hands. This was an absolute monster blast. Watch where this hits off the pole. Almost went over that pole in left field, and no doubter. Big exclamation point in this inning for the Ducks.
Well, Cox had a big 2-run home run in the bottom of the third of the decisive game against Stanford on Sunday, which cut the deficit at that point to 7-5. They wound up 1-10-7. In fact, Cox scored on the walk-off game-winning 3-run home run from Des Patman to beat Stanford. Kaylin Jones 2 for 2 today with a double and a run scored. Well, we have seen Liberty. They've been one of, if not the big story in softball coming into the Super Regional round after knocking off A&M in College Station last weekend. We have seen them come from behind debts like this. Bouncy ball, base hit right field. Third hit for Jones.
Well, Savannah Woodard is played up the middle. They were trying to pitch her away, pitch her outside, feed that defense. This pitch is down and in. Escobar does not get under this rise ball. And look at that big gap over there in the 3-4 hole. Jones is able to pull it for the base hit.
Katie Flannery, a walk in the second. RBI double in the fourth. An Oregon team that has had such very well balanced season, really in all 3 phases of the game. Whether it's pitching, offense, defense, they're top 10 in all 3 of those categories nationally. In some ways, they've kind of flown under the radar.
Auto insurance all seems the same until it's time to use it. With USAA, it's easy to file.
Pickoff attempt late, and a strikeout for the second out of the inning.
Well, they're the only team in the entire country in the top 10 in all 3 categories. They are a balanced team. But this is an off-speed pitch from Escobar. Goes to that changeup. And Liberty trying to do everything they can to get out of this inning. It's been a pass-the-bat type of inning for Oregon.
There goes the runner. Tag in time. So Jessie throws out her 9th would-be base stealer. We believe, making sure are they going to challenge this or not? And Sam Martyr's kind of indicating to Melissa Lombardi, do you want to use the challenge here? And here comes Missy. They are going to challenge. Was there a tag?
Well, immediately on the slide from Jones, when she came up, she reached to her head and gave the universal video review sign on the safe out call. Now clearly the ball beats her. I mean, you can see Woodard has the ball before she's even gone into her slide. She tries to slide to the back of the bag.
Okay, they're actually going to look for obstruction and safe out. Safe or out. Now obstruction though, obviously, Carol, right? I mean, that's something you can always add in when you're looking at a video review.
Part of the video review process. You can call safe out, but if obstruction does come into play, that also can be looked at. You get a look from Woodard here.
Which is she giving an angle to the base there at all? I don't even know if she tagged her, number one.
Well, she's clearly in front of the base. She's on the home plate side, so personally don't see any obstruction. I mean, she's not even close to the base. Actually, I'd like her to be even closer to the base with her left foot. So I do not see obstruction. That leading edge of the base is there. But what Jones is trying to do is slide to the back edge, and Woodard does a little swipe tag instead of keeping that glove down in the dirt and making sure she stays down around the bag to tag the hand of Jones.
So call on the field is out. My question, I mean, did you even see a tag? I'm not even sure.
It was
a
swipe.
Tag. Yeah, a swipe that just tagged air, basically.
And that's why immediately Jones said, hey, I think I got around that. You know, credit to her for making it a close play. The ball beat her. I mean, it's very clear the ball beat her, but she's very aware and sliding to the back of the base to even make this a close play, because it was probably the best throw we've seen from Jessie. I mean, the throw was down there quickly, but Woodard was not really at the base. We'd like to see her be on the leading edge of the base there, closest to home. And stick with that tag a little bit more. Leave nothing up to doubt. Those little swipe tags, you know, that just rarely result in an out.
Oregon challenge, it's their first, by the way. And again, the call on the field is that Kaylin Jones is out. Is there indisputable evidence from the angles that we have seen to overturn the call on the field? We're about to find out. All right, so the call is upheld. I guess there wasn't enough indisputable to indicate that there was no attack. So the call on the field stands.
Yeah, no obstruction.
Well, 20 comeback wins this season for the Liberty Flames. Do they have another in them to live another day?
This is a team that knows how to battle. They know how to fight. They are uncomfortable. They are comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And they're just gritty.
6, 7, and 8 hitters up here. Paige Dorr leading off. Grounded out to the right side, her first time up. Lindsey Gryan, the starting pitcher for Oregon, has set down 12 in a row after the first two hitters of the game reached. Slow roller. Sinicki has to hurry and gets it there in time. Showed off the arm a little bit there.
She even makes plays that are mishits, or, you know, they don't look like it's just a slow developing play here, but her ability to read it off the bat and attack and throw in rhythm is just so impressive. And every infielder, the main goal is to read the ball off the bat. Is it hit hard? Is it hit slow? Does it have spin on it? And Sinicki's so good at that.
Ball whacked to left. Right there, Kylie Shar and Rachel Crane jumping on the first pitch. Flies out to medium deep left field. Just like that, 2 outs now in the Liberty fifth. That's worth a little dance. This are empty for the catcher, Savannah Jessie. Got credit for throwing out her 9th would-be base stealer of the season, that last inning.
And something Lindsey Grind has done since halfway through the first inning is work from ahead. You know, we saw her fall behind the first 2 batters of the game, gave up the 2 hits, the home run and the base hit. Since then, she has been very efficient with her pitch count, mainly because she's been filling up the strike zone, and she's been doing it with a variety of her pitches. So it's not allowing Liberty to really hunt a certain zone, a certain pitch. It's been a special performance here for Lindsey Grind, something we have not seen in the postseason.
Little loop out to second base. Kayla Jones makes the catch. And now they have a 6-1 lead on the Liberty Flames. It's the first time in the 20-year history of the Super Regional round that we've had 2 teams in a Super each have 50 or more wins. Liberty right at 50 wins on the season. They win last night, Oregon at 52. Top of the order, Kylie Shar leads off.
Kylie Shar, so tough to defend. Elite speed, leads the nation in stolen bases. All she wants to do is get down to first so she can try to steal second. This infield has to play so shallow. If she dumps the ball in front with a bunt or uses the ground, so good at bouncing the ball in front, it is a foot race. So it's Liberty defense playing 2 steps inside the baseline.
Time's ticking. Nice play. Byram able to come in and get that second hop. Throw out the speedy Kylie Shar.
Yeah, great play from Byram. Kylie Shar forces you to play clean. She forces you to play fast, and if you can do those things quickly, I mean, you have a shot to throw her out, as Byram did right there.
There's Kedri Lushar. Henry had a hit and stole the base in yesterday's game. So a walk. Reached on a fielder's choice last time up today. And what a year it's been for Lushar. And the team leader RBIs was recently bumped up to that 2 spot in the order, batting behind her sister Kai. Coach Lombardi said, yeah, you just looked at the numbers, the analytics, and it was the right thing to do. See what she's done from year to year.
I mean, those numbers aren't even close. I mean, it's not even in the ballpark. Just having an outstanding season. They tweaked her stance just a little bit. And just that experience, you know, sometimes you go to work each year, you go to work each day, you don't always know when the work's going to show up, but that work has shown up this season for Kedri Lushar.
Put up after it, it's a high fly to left. Gore battling that sun and makes the catch in foul territory. Escobar set down the first 2 here in the top of the 6th inning. Stephanie Ake. And Escobar came in last inning. Third different pitcher of the game for the Flames. Kaylin Yoder started, went the first time through the batting order. And Paige Bachman, now Escobar. She's only allowed 1 run of her own, but a couple of inherited runners scored on that 3-run homer by Emma Cox last inning.
Well, and this Oregon team has seen Escobar now several at-bats. Saw her through a complete game last night. So a lot of at-bats then, a few more today. Not really too many surprises anymore. They know what adjustments they need to make with Emma Cox and her home run.
And we mentioned it last night. Escobar's been dealing with a left Achilles injury for quite a while now this season. In fact, when she's just out in general public, she'll usually have a boot on that left foot. She has fought through that when her team needs her. That's shallow center field. Madry comes in and calls off Woodard to make the catch. And Escobar sets the side down in order. Come off the bench. A pinch hit here for Byram. The Lady Flames down to their final 6 outs, down by 5, needing a win today to extend it to a decisive game tomorrow. Mark Neely, former Purdue head coach Carol Bruggeman on the Pacific Northwest. They went 4 for 11 in the Texas A&M Regional. And the elbow injury just limited her ability to throw Carol to the point where they just really couldn't play her at shortstop.
Well, she injured it on a slide and then felt it when she made the throw down in College Station. And that's a big loss for Liberty, even though they've been able to elevate without her. Kind of the next person up mentality as Byram's played at shortstop, but she's the 3rd leading hitter on this team.
With 3 seasons up the road at Oregon State. What was the season at Utah? 2 balls, 2 strikes on Savannah Watley, pinch hitting, leading off Liberty's 6th inning. Lindsey Grine has set down the last 15 Liberty hitters in a row since the 1st inning.
It's so impressive. She's just locked in the Lindsey Grine we have seen throughout the season. And you just feel for Watley. You can tell she's in a lot of pain, a lot of grimacing every time she swings the bat.
Yeah, and Dot Richardson's coming down the line. I don't know if can Watley finish this plate appearance. I think Dot has that concern here. Starting to give it a look, and Watley's just kind of like, you know what? I think she's trying to talk her way to staying in and finishing this at bat.
Just the competitor in her, and everyone looking out for her best interests. And all those competitors out there, you just want that opportunity, and you feel for her. It's just one of the most important moments and times of the season. Just really a very serious injury that she's battling.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call for out number 1. And a half dozen strikeouts for Grine.
Well, Grine got a little bit out of rhythm with those delays. It didn't matter. She comes right back. That screwball on the outer half, just running away from Watley, freezes her.
Back to the top of the order, it's Savannah Woodard. Home run off the scoreboard in the bottom of the 1st. Gave the Lady Flames an early 1-0 lead. It's been their only lead in this Super Regional. Ducks came right back with 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th. And then Cox 3-run homer.
Well, and the only 2 hits Liberty has in this game are the first 2 batters of the game. And you can't say enough about Grine's ability just to persevere, work through it. She's really struggled in this postseason for Oregon. This looks much more like herself. Good tempo, good rhythm. I mean, and there hasn't been a pitch in her arsenal we haven't seen. We've seen the rise ball. It's her best pitch. We've seen the curveball, screwball.
Back-to-back Ks. That's now 7. And 17 in a row set down.
And a big smile for Lindsey Grine, and why not? She's got everything rolling. Screwball, running away, same pitch she used as a strikeout pitch for Whatley. It's back-to-back strikeouts against Woodard.
Rachel Root. Foul tip, strike 1. With the score 6-1. Here in the 6th, you start thinking about, is this the final at bat for Rachel Root in a Liberty uniform? It's just off the outside corner. Rachel's planning on playing in one of the pro leagues with the Florida Vibe. Playing days would not be over. Ryan paints the outside corner.
And just such a feared hitter. If you're going to circle one hitter in the Liberty lineup, it's going to be Rachel Root.
Did she? Yes. Sadicki leading off, takes inside. I was showing you a few of the sites, filming sites for Animal House, and you asked me, you said, why did they film the movie here on the University of Oregon campus? And what I told you was what I had always heard. It was the only university that allowed them to film the movie. Nobody else wanted them to come on campus and film Animal House.
And they still own it all these years later, as evidenced by the most spirited version I have heard of Shout.
Sadicki, the cleanup hitter, lays down the bunt. Good play. Rachel Crane nips her by an eyelash. Sam Martyr coming down. They're going to want to challenge this. In real time, I thought it was a good call. Let's see if the video shows something else.
Sadicki is so good at waiting until the last moment to get the bunt down.
Yeah, maybe she did beat that.
It's very close. A lot closer than it appeared initially.
Sadicki is looking for a third hit of the game. So Oregon's going to use their second challenge of the game. So you see the umpires, they're just waiting for the Pittsburgh control room to review it and then let the umpires here on site know what they decide. So the umpires you're looking at don't make the call themselves. They're just acting as reporters basically at this point.
And whatever happens with this call, both teams are out of challenges. We are past the 6th inning, so the umpires can challenge anytime they feel they're out of position or they want to take another look, and certainly on any scoring play as well. But both teams would be out of video reviews. You're taking a look at Sadicki's foot, and when the ball is in the glove, it doesn't have to be in the back of the glove, just needs to be in the webbing of the glove.
I don't know if it's indisputable, but I get the feeling that she beat it. But again, I don't know if it's indisputably proven on the video. Tough to tell there because you kind of get the foot block from Sadicki. This may be a better look, but you won't see when the ball actually gets in the back of the glove. But I tell you what, with that look right there, I don't know if there's enough to overturn it.
It's so close. I agree. I don't think it's indisputable, but it is it's about as close as they come right there.
Yeah.
Her foot is on the base. You see Woodard squeezing her glove.
Yeah, we'll see what Pittsburgh Review Center comes up with there. You know, Coach Lombardi, who spent 21 seasons on Patty Gasso's staff at Oklahoma, if Oregon were to hang on, win this game, and go to the Women's College World Series, there'd be a lot of people around the softball world happy for that lady right there.
And just a big homecoming for Missy Lombardi as well. And you can't say enough about what she has done with this Oregon program.
Here comes the verdict. Call being out on the field. All right, so it is upheld. The out call stands. And there's one out here in the top of the 7th. Not surprised by that one.
No, it was very close, but to your point, not obvious enough, indisputable evidence enough to overturn.
So base is empty, one out. Des Patman doesn't have an official at bat because she's been walked 3 times. And has not seen many strikes. 0-1 from Escobar. There's a strike from Escobar. When we are finished here in Eugene, we'll send you to Austin, Texas, and Clemson. Decisive game 3 there. Pam Ward, Jenny Dalton Hill call on that one. Clemson had opportunities to finish that off last night. Have left the Longhorns alive and kicking. They're scoreless through an inning so far in Austin.
You say that a lot about a lot of super regionals. You know, South Carolina had a chance to punch their ticket earlier. These teams just do not quit.
4 walks for Des Patman. I guess in a way that, as you alluded to earlier, that shows you that she's just seeing the zone.
I'm impressed with it, you know, especially the way she likes to hit. She is a power hitter, and it's really tough for power hitters. They want to swing. They want to get their hacks up there, and sometimes that leads to being impatient. Des Patman today has shown great patience in drawing the 4 walks.
Riley McCoy 1 for 3 today, but she's one of the big stories just by it's on to Oklahoma City that she would be ready to go in Oklahoma City.
I mean, the injury she had was less than a week ago, when you think about it, and just so pleased to see her healthy and back on the field.
Patman had to stop at her tracks to avoid that line drive. And McCoy has her 2nd hit, so her 1st game back, even though she only technically missed 1 game. She's 2 for 4.
I mean, she's the 3rd leading hitter on the team, so of course they're happy to have her back. This time it's a pitch on the outer half. She inside outs it a little bit. It's actually on the inner half of the plate, and she does a little inside out swing, finds a gap. I mean, what a big lift for this whole Oregon team to have her back in the lineup. The crowd erupted when she was announced in the starting lineup. She has made her presence known.
She comes out for a pinch runner, Elise Crescio. Looking like pending on the bottom of the 7th inning. McCoy's afternoon is finished. Meanwhile, Casey Fagan has come out to talk with Lina Escobar. Crescio runs at first. 2 on with 1 out here in the Oregon 7th. They know they're going to take at least a 5-run lead to the bottom of the 7th. 3 defensive outs away from the first trip to the Women's College World Series in 7 years.
Well, this timeout, this conversation had a lot to do with Emma Cox, who deposited one over the left field fence, over the left field extra netting behind there last time. So making sure everybody's on the same page, how they want to attack Emma Cox. I don't think she's going to see too many pitches high in the zone, unless they are like that particular pitch, which was very much out of the strike zone.
3-run home run her last time up. Her 8th of the year. It's given her 34 RBIs. Takes down and away. A slice of the shadows have overtaken the circle. Down in the dirt, halfway to third base was Patman, but she stops, puts the brakes on, and treated back to second base.
Well, and Patman, you know, right, if you hesitate, you have to go back. You hesitate, you have to go back. If she would have taken off right away, she would have been able to take that extra base. And remember, Patman, with all of her walks, she's been pinch run for. Ayanna Shaw, she stayed out in right field. But now that Patman has re-entered, they want to keep her in the game out in right field. So she's got to stay out there and run the bases.
Well, Cox walks, and that's going to load the bases. So after Escobar got the leadoff batter, Sinicki, even though Oregon did challenge it, lost that challenge. Since then, 2 walks and a base hit. Like they're going to run for Emma Cox, and will do so with Presley Lawton. So they are loaded up for Kaylin Jones. Six runs on 10 hits now for the Ducks. 1 run, 2 hits for Liberty, and those 2 hits came from their first 2 batters of the game. And a big day for Jones with 3 hits.
We talked about it earlier, how important as Oregon has continued their run through the postseason. If they can win this game and advance to Oklahoma City, this bottom part of the lineup has been so productive.
Just fights it off into left field and brings in another insurance run for the Ducks. Her 4th hit of the game, 5th in the 2 games of the Super Regional round, and it's now a 7-1 game.
And Jones is just doing what she does best, taking what the pitch gives her. It's up in the zone, doesn't even take a full swing, but she's able to keep her barrel level, her hands strong, and that results in a line drive through the 5-6 gap. We've seen this all day from Jones, just so consistent with her barrel control.
Two balls and no strikes.
Now already a bit of a tall task for Liberty as they have 3 outs to work with when they come up in the bottom of the 7th. Oregon has the opportunity here to really put some distance on the scoreboard.
Here's Allen strike.
This is what Oregon does. I mean, they are one of the top 5 teams in the country in scoring for a reason, because of their ability to hit through the lineup. They don't rely just on the top. This is a team that can hit through the lineup. And I think what I'm the most impressed with is their ability to have, they truly have that dynamic combination of speed and power. People talk about it all the time. That's the goal. We want to have a good mix. Well, Oregon really does have that mix where they can really put up runs in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they have set single-season school records in runs scored, RBI, stolen bases. And this is a program that's had some pretty high-flying offensive teams through the years. Allen able to come back, get a swing and a miss, and strike out Flannery for the 2nd out.
And Allen's go-to pitch is that rise ball up in the zone. Has a lot of confidence in throwing it here on a full count. It's a low rise ball, arm side, so it's running away from Flannery. and she gets her opportunity to come in and make a difference in this game. That's a good start for Allen.
Well, when we get to the bottom of the 7th, last chance for the Flames. 3, 4, and 5 scheduled. And 9 seniors on the team.
Well, in this situation with Kylie Shar, with her speed, sometimes the best out might be to home or might be to second. You know, wherever the ball takes you, we have a force out at every base. It does not have to go to first.
Knocked down. Byron had a thought about third, but too late then. Bouchard drives in a run.
Bouchard just makes things happen with her barrel control. And speed never takes a day off. So beats it into the ground. And even if she fields this ball cleanly, Mark, I don't think she has a play because Crane's coming over to field the ball. There's no chance. The base runners are moving.
Scored an RBI infield hit.
Yep.
Second RBI of the game for Kylie Shar. Second run of the inning. It's become a 7-run lead. Bases loaded, 2 out still, and that's a bouncy ball up the middle, and we'll score at least 2 more, maybe. Throw come to the plate. Tag safe.
Oregon Ducks are playing pass the bat. This one's on the upper part of the zone, keeps her barrel nice and high, finds a gap up the middle. What a game for Kaylin Jones, 4 for 4, slides hard, showing you her speed, a lot of emotion. And this Oregon team is starting to feel it, getting closer to punching their ticket to Oklahoma City.
Stephanie Maake is the 9th batter to come up here in the top of the 7th for the Ducks. Now up 10-1. This is the top of the inning. There's no run rules. Liberty will bat in the bottom of the inning. 10 runs, 13 hits for the Oregon Ducks. They look well on their way to their first Women's College World Series in 7 years. 7th in school history.
And this is what we've been seeing from Oregon throughout the season. A very typical game. They score a lot of runs, hit through the lineup, double-digit hits, double-digit runs, and then they play shutdown defense. Quite the performance today from Grine and the defense playing well behind her. This is a team, the only Division I team in the country in the top 10 in those 3 major team categories. ERA.
Ball 4 to Maake. First base was unoccupied, so that'll reload the bases. As Oregon is batted around and look to be putting the icing on the cake for a run to Oklahoma City. Well, even if you are Oregon and you look to be playing on in Oklahoma City, you got some seniors who may be, in Sinicki's case, playing their final home game here. So though they play on, it will not be in front of this great 2,500 crowd and fan support that they get here in Eugene.
And she is a crowd favorite. I mean, this young lady, I've yet to see her take a play off, ever. Offensively, defensively, she is full go.
Deep right field. Out of reach of Ruth. That'll clear the bases. 3-run triple for Sinicki. Her 6th triple of the season, and she's now just a double shy of the cycle today.
just aggressive, playing hard, packs a punch in that 5-2 frame. This one almost a grand slam. She'll take it off the wall for a triple. I mean, how about this Oregon team who has just turned it on late in this game? They've scored 10 runs and counting in the last 3 innings.
13-1. Here's Patman, who's already walked once in the inning, and says, you know what, I haven't really seen many strikes. I'm hacking at the first pitch. It's 13-1. Well, it's been, without a doubt, for Liberty, the best run in school history, making it to a super regional for the first time ever, and knocking out the 1-seed Texas A&M last weekend. They're going to come to the plate with senior KK Badri. An opportunity with 1 out. A loss for Liberty would end their season at 50-15 after a 23-3 conference season. One Conference USA regular season easily. Slow roller, flip out at second. Jones flipping it to Sinicki for out number 2. And Oregon 1 out away. Boards at a first pitch strike to Paige Gore. Ducks a strike away. Time in school history, and the first time under head coach Missy Lombardi, the Oregon